Stream's kicking up. And we're up. All right. Last time on A Crown of Cold Iron, our party of intrepid heroes, the heroes of Queensborough, are seeking to summon the Summer King in his new apparent incarnation in the person of Roland, a human resident of Queensborough who seems to have been undergoing unusual changes over the last year or so. All of this in service to heading off issues surrounding a massive portal between the worlds that is forming underneath the Fey Enclave neighborhood of Little Sylvain. To that end, the party has decided to attempt to summon Roland slash the Summer King using the seal of the Raven King, the human opposite of the Summer King, who was strangely both his primary enemy and sometimes confidant during the Human and Fey Wars 1500 years ago. Auric, the similarly unusual combination of a young dragonborn Fey and an ancient human sorcerer king, is heading beneath the Raven Palace to seek out this seal. And we left off with the party making some preparations. We had some training montages, some new spells and abilities were discovered. Is there anything else y'all want to do before you attempt to return to the Raven Palace?
Do we have enough healing items?
Good question.
One of us is probably going to die. It's okay.
We could pick up some more crushables or whatever they are.
Oh, yeah, the old.
Right, the hugs.
Yeah. For those who are very confused, the primary source of potions that our party has found is through Midsum Pawn and Fine Goods, where the potions are dispensed in the squeezable plastic bottles of Hugs fruit juice.
Which is totally 100% fruit juice and not sugar water at all.
It's red sugar water that dreams of strawberries.
Yes.
All right. Random. Your brawler's ring is multiplying. All right. What kinds of potions do you all have?
I have 5 healing potions on me.
Looks like Lexi has a greater and 3 regular.
Okay.
And Shirish has.
I'm showing a greater +7.
Jeez.
Okay, we're
So
good.
maybe we just need to maybe we just need to share a little more around.
I'll say, unless y'all want to shop for other items, what I would say is, let me pull up my magic item pricing guide real quick. Go ahead and share the lessers however you would like, and I'll give you all some prices for some graders.
So how many does Lexi have right now?
I think I have one big one and how many regulars? 5 or fewer? I think I have fewer.
I think you had like 3 regular and 1 grader.
Okay, 3 regular and 1 greater.
And what you have, Oric?
I have 5 regular.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I give Lexi 2, then we've all got 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just good and even. Cool.
All right.
So what I would say is, brain do math.
No.
If you'll mark off, say, 2,000 gold out of the the lump sum from Lambton. You all can split 9 greater healing potions between you.
Sounds good.
It's easier to give them to you now than to get in the middle of a fight and realize that we didn't appropriately equip you all.
That's very true. Okay, so let's see. That would
So that'd
be
be 3 each?
3 each.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I have 4.
And are there any are there any allies you all want to bring with you?
If we bring Sana with us, will she turn into the Raven again?
Maybe.
So we talked a little bit about this at the tail end of last session. I'll say, Cyrus, give an Arcana check with advantage. And I should look to see what you roll.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wanted to be a 13. It thought about being a 19. It decided to be a 1. So
So this is mostly just a reminder of info that you already had. So this isn't too bad. So basically, Mort. Part of what makes the Tuatha a little bit different than the Fae is that they grow even more so than the Fae. Like, as Fae ascend in power, they sort of ascend through this sort of strict hierarchy, and some people can cut in line, some people have sort of fortunate encounters that bump them ahead, but it tends to be very constrained. Tuatha sort of sit in a strange place between like a high-tier Fae and a deity. They can grow exponentially. Mort, to be able to sort of stay in this world, and before that, to avoid coming into conflict with his own mistress, has essentially been carving away parts of his own power, stopping himself from ascending too high. And that power has taken the form of enchantments, spells, items, and in
Cyrus.
in several notable cases, some of our characters. Cyrus, Sana, and Alex all represent fragments of his power that were sort of sheared off for different purposes. The power has personality. In small amounts, the personality is balanced or suppressed. In excessive amounts, when too much of Mort comes together again, especially if the vessel is insufficient, it will sort of rapidly catapult to a monstrous level, which is sort of what happened when you all needed to make a quick escape and Cyrus threw on the Ravening Bracers. Was it just the Ravening Bracers? I think so. Towards the end of your fight beneath the Raven Palace with Marcus Prim.
Yeah.
The more powerful you become, the less of an issue that is, because you're better able to offset the strong will of whatever you're wielding. Just being there probably won't do it. But of course, there's a higher risk of it than just sitting around town.
Yeah.
So, what would you all like to do?
Oh,
I suppose it's time to dive in and
Yep.
go.
All right.
we'll be fine.
We're gonna clip this when this arc is over and you're rolling new characters.
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Famous last
Fine.
words.
I've got a healing spell now. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
I've got extra potions.
I have a summon.
Should
That's right.
bring
I
the
forgot.
dog?
You picked up Wither and Bloom, right?
You just asked if we should bring the dog.
Yeah, I did just ask if we should bring the dog. It's like that scene in Volume 2 of Ruby. Put it in the backpack.
I don't know if a mead dog would be helpful, but
Yeah, it might be able to be
it
used.
might be exceptionally
You
helpful.
know, it might be like how have its own aura. Be able to, fight.
I mean, I will say this: there is a good chance that in the long run, the dog will become something more helpful.
Right. The dog is still but a young thing at this point.
Yeah, whether it's there and whether you specifically know how to take advantage of that is a very different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, in that case, when so we'll say you all have done a little bit of reconnaissance here, because you could do some of this without endangering yourself. The initial maintenance that broke into the extra dimensional space within which the old Raven Palace is contained has mostly been finished. You don't see visible signs of construction above the street anymore. Previously, that was how both you and the Kingsguard had gained entry. Essentially a sanitation upgrade for the city had broken through the weakening barrier that was hiding this extra dimensional space.
Right.
As far as I know, you all have not heard anything about it since then, right?
No, we have not.
No, we haven't.
So how would you all dig into this, just to sort of figure out where your information comes from?
I guess go to the historical palace. Poke bricks in the wall.
Do we need our umbrella top 5 up, 2 across, or whatever it is to get into Diagon Alley?
I mean, you do know that there's a door under, basically attached to the sewer system.
Right.
You
Yeah.
just don't know what state it's in at this point.
Right. Is Queensboro like one of those old European cities that has, walkable sewers, or is it like pipes?
Is it like
No,
America?
it's definitely walkable. It's definitely like large. They've essentially been upgrading this old infrastructure for a long time. So now sort of the walkable sections live alongside more modern fixtures.
Okay, so flush Lexi down the toilet.
Thanks.
The top of the brewer's mallet like spinning and
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to the museum palace and looking around there to see if there's a front door.
This is going to be dangerous. You're gonna get within enough feet of the
I'm not going near that.
I'll say
it's just
give
gonna
me-
like break through the glass that it's encased in and come flying into your hand.
give me an investigation check and an arcana check.
Investigation. A whopping 6.
Damn, son.
I found the gift shop.
Oof. Well, I think there's a very simple explanation for this. You enter into the historical palace because, of course, the Raven Palace is split. Essentially, at some point, Mort carved off parts of the actual Raven Palace and compressed them into some kind of demi-plane, which is now only loosely connected to the building above. So, in a weird way, they're both the Raven Palace, but most of the more explicitly magical elements are down below. So, you go to investigate. You're able to enter among sort of this is major tourist attraction. This is like any number of historical palaces in today's world. But you come in and you start to get a little bit of information. Do you ask anyone?
I don't even know how I would ask.
So you're kind of looking around, trying to figure out what you are looking for.
Yeah.
And there's like a large room that is the sort of a special exhibit on like the regalia of the Raven King. And it's one of the most heavily guarded rooms. And it's sort of up on the second floor, but it's very like ostentatiously presented. There's lots of like banners hanging and crowds are moving up. You get within about, 50 yards of this room, and you can feel the seal. And it might be amplified. It feels like there might be other authentic items in the Raven King's regalia. None of it screams with power, but the effect of having all of them together, they sort of harmonize and resonate. And you might think of it like someone who they can feel your magic somehow. You can tell that there is you're not sure what level of awareness there is, whether these are true intelligent items, but at least on the most basic level, your magic entering this space has an awakening effect on them. It's like someone who has 8 big dogs coming home after being gone all day. You feel the magical equivalent of just stampeding paws and barking and bumping, and you notice several things. One, you feel this on an arcane level. It's like it's louder to you. It's almost like you know what you're listening for. 2, it is strong enough that the average everyday people walking around all sort of miss a step for a second. People stumble, some people fall, everyone looks a little disoriented for a moment. All the Fae in the room, because we've established there's a handful who are sort of doing the tourist thing. They all twitch, like they just touched a hot stove. What you also notice, several low-grade arcane formations trigger. Nothing... It's not about to drop a lightning bolt on you, but you feel like you've probably triggered several different alarm spells. You spot... I think you recognize... That's how you know this. There's one person who doesn't sort of trip out for a second, and you recognize that it's one of the Blackthorns. Someone who's sort of low tier, and you've never really known what their job was. Which is weird, because Blackthorns talk about that kind of thing a lot. So it's just weird not to know what a random person does. And you realize it's because apparently their job is undercover security for the artifacts of the Raven King. What you also notice is, again, like the last time you were here, there seems to be a couple of Kingsguard hanging out. And the magic hits them very differently. They almost... It's almost like they're also dogs who have heard the car door slam. You can feel some kind of energy rising in them. What do you want to do?
Sneak away carefully.
That was what it was going to be until I found out there's Kingsguard here.
Well, and they were there last time. Like, they just seem to kind of vaguely haunt the place.
Yes, but last time I didn't know that I could try to make a connection with Kingsguard people.
Oh, dear God. And this is how it turns into a heist.
Where are the rest of you? I guess we should establish.
Lexi is leaning up against Pokey like, I ain't doing this. I don't even care where Pokey is in comparison. Lexi's like,
Pokey is parked 5 blocks away, and Lexi's just like, nope, not doing it.
Fuck my
Not
life.
doing it.
Yeah, I think you like vaguely feel it, like almost like the breeze on the back of your head, and somehow you just know something has happened.
Yep.
What is Cyrus doing?
I think Cyrus might go talk to Sana about other potential ways in. See if she's aware of any that we haven't explored.
We'll put a pin on Cyrus for a second. Auric, what are you doing?
Trying to remember how I lassoed the last Kingsguard and seeing if I can do it without grabbing their attention.
So I'll go ahead and lay it out for you. You definitely know how to make that connection. It feels intuitive. It's like remembering, like, oh, yeah, that's where I put that. And you just know. However, in this specific atmosphere, you feel like it is... You have more control over them than you normally would. But they're also going to be much more sensitive to your location.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go off the rails for some reason, you can also tell they are stronger than like whatever this is. You're getting an impression of what Lady Bryn meant when she talked about the effect of these leaders. They've kicked up from like the barest sparks of hero light to like almost visible. The equivalent might be like when you saw Lexi like the first time.
Okay. In that case, I will probably slink out the door and try to like gently put my hooks in them along the way out.
Let's call this a stealth check.
Because I am so good at those. This time I am.
Oh,
Wow.
good.
You
19 on the die.
you really sort of blew the thinky magic side, and you're like, but I'm a ghost. You managed to sort of slip out, and I'll even say, with a 21, you managed to almost sort of soothe the magic. You sort of smooth it behind you, making you harder to follow magically, and also helping the ripples of this to subside faster.
Good job.
Yay. I did a good.
Whew, yeah, a 5 and a 2 back to back. Yikes.
Yeah.
So we'll jump over to Cyrus. So Cyrus you were going to check in with Sana and ask about what?
I thought I'd see if she was aware of any other, like she spent a considerable amount of time in there. If she knew of other ways in or out from her experience.
So you kind of meet up with Sana, and she sort of thinks it over. The sort of true Raven Palace was not meant to be accessible. It was not meant to be something that anyone could find. The fact that the sewer was able to sort of breach into it was not geographical. It's not that it was there and they just happened to dig into it. It was a specific failing of the magic that was severing it from normal space. So there's probably more ways in than there used to be. Front door is still the easiest by far. It has sort of manifested and seems to have been locked into the external reality to a certain extent. Meaning it's probably in the place you left it.
Okay.
That being said, it is possible to potentially, using sort of very similar magic to how Maine has been able to poke holes into Fairy, you might be able to, if you had an expert with the right skills, they might be able to find weak or thin places and poke your way in, potentially from somewhere else.
Okay. So, I think we go check out the front door then.
Something else while I'm looking at it, do y'all want to divvy up more of the loot from Lambton before you jump in?
Sure. Probably not a bad idea.
Yes.
I just noticed you've got the Monarch Rapier, the Brooch of Many Sizes, and the Wind Riders. I don't know if you want to pass some of these to others, or
I figured give the brooch to Lexi.
Okay.
Barbarian getting big is always handy.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave Auric the Timekeeper's mantle, right?
Yeah, I think we did.
Because I don't have it.
I don't know if I see that in your inventory.
Actually, yeah, I don't see it either.
Time Shifter's Mantle. It's just easy for items to disappear between arcs.
So I don't know if and then I don't know if anybody I guess like Cyrus could use the Monarch Rapier, but I'm not.
It's not necessarily advantageous to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I don't. I mean, I guess the getting to use your charisma modifier could make it useful for Auric, but I don't know that Auric envisions himself doing melee attacks.
Probably not.
I try to avoid it, but I guess it's always good to have an option if I can't avoid it.
Okay. Yeah. So we can move the Monarch Rapier over to Auric as well.
Seems fitting.
Yes, because I am a pretty butterfly.
And the king, the monarch.
That too.
So I think I'll keep the Wind Riders.
All right. And y'all are ready to head for the entrance?
I think so.
All right. So, where do you park Pokey? This was a problem last time.
A respectable distance away in a place that's not going to get towed.
All right. We'll say between sort of Lexi's lifetime of experience in Queensboro and Cyrus's probably greater than normal understanding of where to ditch a car where it won't be noticed. You all are able to secure Pokey. It helps that no one wants to steal it.
It's called Pokey for a reason.
Yep. Which leaves you all the awkward task of sort of levering up this manhole cover and dropping into the sewer.
Yep.
I won't even make you roll. Lexi can do this no problem. And y'all are able to somewhat soundlessly drop in. A lot of the marks of visible construction are gone. And everyone give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Decent.
9. About right.
All right. So Auric and Cyrus, you both notice it.
Lexi's
So-
too busy adjusting the manhole cover.
Well, so the upgrades and sort of work that they were doing down here seems to be finished. What you all notice is it doesn't really register for you, but there is a very faint warding in this area, and you can actually see what almost looks like errant marks in the sort of concrete blocks around the edge here. Someone has carved a very gentle fey warding, something to turn away people who don't have magical power or clarity of intent. It's essentially just to make people wander the other way. And you feel yourself sort of brush it off as you walk through. So you move down this familiar space, and you see where the sewer starts to give way, and it's more clear this time. There's literally a space where the sewer and the ruins blur together. It actually reminds you a lot of some of the demand spaces you've encountered, where there were strange demarcations between two different places smushed together. So you pass into this area of worked stone. You can still see there are these beautiful murals depicting all these different moments of the past, battles, depictions of the Phantom Queen, depictions of Archfey locked in battle with Tuatha, all sorts of different things. Everybody give me a perception check.
Ruh-roh. Ooh, a 9.
14.
10.
All right. Lexi, this is fitting. You notice it first. So, as you're all kind of appreciating the murals as you walk down this fairly long hallway, heading towards where you once encountered the Triskelion doors, you take a step and you look down and you notice there is a large, scorched, bare footprint burned into the stone under your feet. And once you see the first one, you realize there's actually a lot of them. It looks like there's two different sets. One that starts approximately where you're standing now, goes all the way into the distance where the doors are, and you see a second set coming back the other way. And it continues past and off into the rest of the sewer.
Are these human-looking footprints or animal-looking footprints?
They look human-ish, but they're way too large.
Okay.
Y'all gonna continue on?
Suppose so.
All right. As you get closer, you start to see there is even more damage. After a while, the footprints just become a burned streak, like something incredibly hot melted its way down this corridor. And you can actually see where, at some point, it looks like a hand was sort of hung limply and draped like one finger across the wall. And one of the murals just has this long, melted furrow in it. And you watch it kind of, it's almost like someone was playing with this. And you can see this furrow go all the way up to the door. And when you arrive at this Triskel door, that the place where y'all received these strange marks and were able to open up the door together, the door has been blasted open.
Oh, fun.
It looks like something with incredible force and searing heat just blasted. The doors are, one is like crashed into the wall. You can see like an impact mark where it damaged the stone behind it. The other is is cracked into pieces and flung down the hallway.
I like that.
Yeah.
And with that, I will retrieve your tokens and then drop you on the map. Yeah, interesting. Whoop. I just dragged a door.
Uh-oh.
New Roll20 features. I'm very disoriented. I don't know where this was. All right, cool. Are you all able to see?
I'm able
Yeah,
to see everything.
I can see everything.
Oh, hey, ignore that.
Yeah, I can't see me.
Oh, hey, dynamic lighting.
To be fair,
There we
some of
go.
this we've seen before.
That's true. There we go.
Okay.
So I think now Lexi probably can't see great. Oh, good. Those do provide light.
Yeah.
So, what you can see is this scorched trail continues. And there are parts of it that are still flickering with white fire. What y'all want to do?
I kind of want to investigate the fire.
Sure.
Does it look recent?
That would be probably an investigation check. So if you want to look at sort of the material circumstances, do investigation. If you want to sort of look at the magical properties of it, give me Arcana or Religion.
Investigation, I have +4. But my Arcana and Religion are terrible. I guess I'll do investigation. I got an 8. Good lord.
All right.
Glad everybody else had good rolls.
So you all do all right here. You're able to determine this does not seem fresh. The stone looks like it was scorched, melted, cooled, and hardened again. It looks like this has been this way for a while now.
And it's still flickering.
And yes, it does seem like the material circumstances of it definitely imply that it's been a while, except for the areas that are still flickering and burning.
Okay, those look new.
No, this we'll jump this over to Auric. Examining this power, this fire, it seems to be an intense, perpetual flame.
Interesting.
It might go out eventually. It's not sort of like fully formed into a true spell. But whatever burned here burned so powerfully that it has not subsided, even after all this time.
Okay.
And of course, this is a freebie. It looks like Hero Light. But it looks like the sort of more raw, jagged Hero Light that you have seen from other individuals than Lexi.
So maybe don't pull out my light shard and poke at it.
I mean, it's still your call, but
Yeah. Well, there's a little less investigation to do when I know it's some sort of hero light. So I believe I've already touched my rock to hero light. It's just been a while.
All right. What do y'all want to do? How are you sort of carrying yourselves as you return to the Raven Palace?
I tell you, the first thing I'm doing
Carefully.
is changing to human form.
Oh yeah, I feel like I should also point out all the torches are out, all of them.
God damn it.
The this sort of burning patch of fire in front of you is the only light you can see.
All right, time to light something up.
I am going to light the Fae Flame Torch
All right.
Does that only help you or does that help all of us? I don't remember.
until I use a secondary property. It acts like a torch.
Okay.
That's 20 by 20.
Yep. And it's an eerie blue because weird.
All right. Whoops.
Yeah.
These menus are so small. All right. So now there is this white fire and this sort of blue fey light mingling. There's a noticeable crackle where the two areas of light meet.
Huh.
Interesting.
All right. So what's the plan?
Is it easy enough? Like, do we have to dodge it in any way, or can we just like step past it?
No, it's actually not as dramatic as it looks there. It's
Okay.
more like there's new effects that I found in some mode or another. Where was that? Oh, it was in Dungeon Alchemist. That's where it was. Um, it's like a low patch of white fire to one side, and it sort of tracks directly alongside this sort of trail that you're following in.
Whoa, what was that?
That was me accidentally not clearing one of those effects before I clicked on the screen.
It was a pretty great moment, not gonna lie.
And then Cyrus
Cyrus
fired
did-
off an acid stream.
Seriously. Nice and creepy.
So if I recall correctly, this door beside me was like a little guard room.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Are you all able to see the doors?
Yep.
Yeah, I
just
can
opened
see.
one.
Yeah.
Close it.
That feels
Oh,
dangerous.
Clever.
Yeah, it still looks like a guard room. I'll say with the checks you've already made. Because I don't want to just have you roll a million checks in a row. It looks like this space has decayed in a way that doesn't track with how long it's been since you were here. Because you were last in here 2 or 3 months ago.
Something like.
Maybe
In-game.
maybe even less than that in game. And y'all have been on a lot of adventures since then, but it's still not that long.
Yeah.
It looks like hundreds of years have passed.
Huh.
Things that were still in relatively intact condition show significant signs of rust, of rot, of decay.
Okay then.
No. Don't think we need to worry about the guard room.
Probably not. Unless there are guards in there.
Yeah, remind me, because did you say that the light there leads any sort of trail?
Uh, let me see how far you can see. Whoops. I don't know why I use Cyrus. Cyrus is a bad example. Yeah, you all are able to make out from where you're at. It looks like there's more flickering patches of it somewhere up ahead. There's part of the hallway has some of that same harsh white light.
Okay. Poke my head in here real quick.
You see the room where you fought the strange doppelgangers that came from the Shifra's dagger.
Oh my gosh. I'd forgotten about those. Good Lord, that was a long time ago.
I remember hating them.
Yes, I remember that. Man.
Yeah,
Oric,
so I think we
Oric walks out and says, I also hated them. And another Oric walks out and says, I hated them too.
I poke them all with the rapier.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going down the main.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, is that a window?
Looks like.
So you all would remember this from last time. The windows just like open to the void.
Close that window. Do not climb out.
Yeah.
All right, remind. What are we looking? We're just trying to find a space to try to summon the Summer King, or we're looking for something that connects to the Summer King.
We were
The
looking for
seal.
my signet seal,
Okay.
so that whenever I leave him a strongly worded note, he'll know it's actually from me.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be like, hey, we gotta talk.
So out in the hallway where you're at, you can see that this trail of white fire seems to lead to the south and continues sort of all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just for grins and giggles, let's say, uh, Lexi, give me a 1D100 roll.
Oh. Don't like that.
$42. The answer to the question.
Good to know. All right.
Definitely don't like that.
The meaning of life. 42.
All right. Are y'all going to head south or north?
Now, on the one hand, I don't want to find whatever this is, but on the other hand, this is my castle.
Yeah, I mean, like, take ownership, yo.
I mean, well, we don't have any idea which way it is, so I say go north first.
Works for me.
Okay.
Does Lexi have a torch, or do I just need to follow you?
You might need to follow me, but I just kind of opened the door and peeked my head in, so.
Peek.
Oh, give me just 1 second.
I feel like these were like somebody's like chambers or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of bedroom. Like a middle management of the guards.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Looking, you're sort of reminded
All right,
this.
I'm trying to get my mouse to work.
This seemed to be like low-level guard housing. You remember from last time, your impression was that only parts of the Raven Palace were sort of pulled in and sort of remixed into this space, and a lot of it seemed to be the barracks.
Okay.
I do recall further north and then a little bit left was the Raven Room.
Yes, yes. Bitch.
Lexi just locked herself in there.
I was just trying to pull myself out.
Is there a door here?
I don't know, was there?
Or am I looking into the void?
No, I see a hallway.
Yeah, there's a hallway.
Okay.
There's not a door. There's like an open archway.
Okay, yeah.
Cyrus, up where you were, you see light coming out of one of the rooms.
The one I'm at, or farther up ahead?
Farther up the hallway.
I see an open door. I don't like that.
All right, let's go take a look.
There's good reason to be open.
So give me a perception check.
$16.
With a 16, you can see that this room also seems to have had quite a toll taken on it. You remember that this room seemed to be some kind of rookery. There were all sorts of critters in here, or at least the space for them. And everything was in fairly good shape when you came before. Now there is definite wear and tear. It looks like the pillars, the columns holding this room up, have been sort of carved into in places. There is more sort of debris scattered around. You also see what looks like rusted. It's almost like rusted armor and weapons have been just sort of strewn all over the place. And I think with the angle you're at, you could at least tell there are lots of little bright lights somewhere sort of more, if we assume you're looking straight in the door, to the left, it seems to be where those lights are coming from. So pause right there. As you look at this massive enclosure in the center of the room, you see movement.
Yay.
Within the recesses of this huge, partially open aviarium. There are things moving, and the lights that you're seeing seem to be eyes. And with your dark vision, you can see that around these bright, shining eyes are small, winged bodies. But the bodies are a bleached white. And on each of them, there is only one eye shining. So we're going to have you make a very important stealth check.
Oh boy. All of us, or
Just Cyrus for now.
okay.
For now.
So Cyrus, you are. Well, let's be fair. Let's give it a roll. Oops. So, Cyrus, you yourself don't seem to draw the notice of any of these creatures. But from your vantage point at the door, you can see that there is a clear agitation. Something is riling up these creatures.
Is that something called Auric?
Hey, what are you calling it my fault?
I'm just saying.
And the creatures in the room look like the ravens from before.
Give me an Arcana check or an animal handling check.
That's quite.
I feel like I know what you're going to choose, but
Yep.
noise.
Not 20, 27.
All right. You feel an immediate kinship. You can tell that these are fragments of Mort's power that have been sort of haunting this space. And you feel like Under normal circumstances, this small of a fragment you could easily absorb. You could potentially command them. You could maybe even co-opt their senses, and sort of be able to understand the space around you better. Under normal circumstances, something is deeply wrong with these creatures. Mort's essence is, among other things, stealth, darkness, shadows. Mort is, in many ways, a creature of night. There is a radiant fire burning inside this swarm of ravens, and it is warping their core nature in a way that is, to be honest, it's immediately disgusting. Like, you feel a profound revulsion. But you can also tell that it is infinitely painful. Something has made them a way they are not supposed to be.
Okay. Well, I don't think your seal is in there.
Just casually close that door.
Yeah,
He's safe.
that might be something we could fix. It might not be something we could fix. That's not our primary, not our primary goal.
Yeah.
All right. Cyrus, roll 1d100.
$74.
Good to know. All right. What do y'all want to do next?
Well, assuming that's not the room we want to go in, I think we've reached the northernmost
Yeah.
end of the hallway.
Suppose we shall mosey on back down. Or there's another door over there. Did we?
Yeah, we do have a couple doors.
Yeah, we looked through the one on the left.
We did.
Okay, that's still technically open.
Yep.
I'm closing it. I mean, I realize that like if we consent to closing it, then we've kind of closed it, even if it's not closed on Roll20. But
I was kind of joking when I said it's casually close that,
okay.
since I was not by the door.
All right. What do y'all want to do?
I guess I'll try this door.
All right. The light from your torch sort of splashes across this ruined hallway. You can see what looks like 3 doors down a narrow. This hallway looks a little bit less intimidating.
That doesn't mean much.
It almost looks less. Some parts of this place look more austere, more militaristic.
Right.
This hallway a little bit less so.
Pop open that door.
You recognize this from last time. You didn't see this exact room. This appears to be a bathroom.
You guys, I found the toilets.
Oh yeah, I remember where we found the toilet.
Not the same toilet, but a similar
It was a different
idea.
toilet, but I remember finding it.
You just know at a glance that it has the same sort of prestidigitation magic as the one that you previously saw.
Very handy. Next.
1 second.
Why is the sorcerer going first?
Want to move yourself?
Well, come on, roll 20. What's wrong with you? There we go. All right. Yeah, so you open this door. It looks like a small single occupant room. It looks. I mean, it's obviously in a state of decay now. It looks like it was maybe once a little bit nicer than the barracks rooms that you were just in. But in a sense, it almost looks more generic. You get the impression this might have been a guest room.
Interesting. My seal is not in here.
I would doubt that it would be in the guest room.
Well, that leaves one more door. I open it and get blasted by a fireball.
Your light shines into the room. It looks very similar to the room behind you, except as your light sort of pans across the room, it sort of passes over something, and you sort of move past it for a second. There's a complete absence of motion, and it takes you a minute to realize there's a humanoid figure standing in this room with its back to you.
Oh, lovely.
In the weird, surreal light of your Fey Flame torch, it's hard to tell. The details are all sort of distorted and strange. It seems to be dressed entirely in black, a hood pulled up over its head, and it stands completely still. What do you want to do?
Stand completely still.
Not aggro it.
Back away very slowly.
Give me a stealth check.
I'm great at these, really. Nat 20.
Very nice.
All right.
If that was a statue and I just wasted a nat 20, I'm going to be very upset.
All right. What do y'all want to do now?
Well, I can't get through the door. I don't know what's going on.
It's on the corner.
Whoa. What the?
I lifted you up and over like putting a toddler over a fence.
Oh, okay.
Just imagine the master hand from Smash Brothers just grabbed the Cyrus action figure and moved you.
I'm trying to hold the torch as still as possible so as to not, make any light movement. Although, don't know if that'll help anything. Like back in Lexi and Cyrus over, like there's a guy.
Where are you? Sorry. I can't see you on this.
I'm right next to you.
Oh, I can't see you on my screen. No, I can't see you on my personal. Did you go through the door?
I'm under Cyrus.
Okay, I don't see you at all.
I'm under Cyrus
Oh, you're under Cyrus.
in the same space.
Oh, right, that kind of under. Okay.
Yeah.
Lexi steps into the room.
Wasn't trying to. I was trying to find Auric.
So like Three Stooges style, you all are all now like Scooby Doo style. You're like looking in the room together.
Has the figure moved at all since I've noticed it?
It is stone still. But I'll say, everyone give me a perception check.
19.
Nice.
I thought I rolled. Hello. Here we go. 17.
11.
Auric and Lexi, you all are looking at this figure, sort of focusing on this strange something in this room, and you manage to withhold at least a little bit of your focus. Just enough that you hear a distant sound of calling and ravens. Pinpricks of white light are growing brighter out in the void, drawing closer. I guess you all can't even see those. You just see light sort of coming into the room from out of the room to your north, and the door into this hallway. What are you going to say, Cyrus?
I forgot. Sorry.
Just gonna close the doors. See, everything's fine.
What are y'all going to do?
Oh no.
Let's go check out that figure.
All right. Let's go make friends.
No pressure.
Is Auric going into the room by himself?
No, I just couldn't get my.
So, getting closer now, you can tell that this is definitely not. It sure doesn't seem to be a statue.
Hey.
The stillness of it is unnerving. There's something off-putting about it that is hard to put into words. Cyrus, as you step inside, this figure slowly turns to face you. Under the hood, there is... It's not the same void that you can see out the windows. It's almost like looking into a deep, deep well. And at the other end of the well, you don't see anything, but you hear the sound of wings flapping. You hear the sound of steel on steel. You hear cries and screams. And there is a foul, coppery smell that wafts out from under this hood. What would this be? Cyrus, give me a dexterity saving throw. As you take a moment and you're sort of looking at this creature, it's almost like it doesn't even move through the intervening space. It suddenly is just right in front of you. And with unnatural speed, it reaches out to try to grab your forearm. As it reaches out, you feel a dangerous pull. And I'm going to have you all roll for initiative.
Woo.
I'm also not sure why D&D Beyond thinks you all are dead.
I rolled 11.
It thinks both Cyrus and Auric are dead.
Great.
Interesting.
Why? What?
I don't know. It's got you listed as like making death saving throws.
Okay.
Oh. I'm going to try and refresh. That's not great. Guess it doesn't matter right this second. So, Cyrus, you are at the top of the initiative. This figure has almost sort of flickered to stand in front of you. Auric, do you still have your Fae Flame torch on?
Yep.
Lit by this lurid blue light. And this figure has flickered to stand right in front of you, reaching out towards you. What do you want to do?
I want to get out of the way. All right. I'll take a short sword swing.
All right. You lash out with ill omen, and this strange figure blocks with an identical blade.
Okay. And
Mechanically, you missed.
yeah.
Just that, so I don't imply an ability there that doesn't
Yeah.
exist. Did you? Which of you opened the door?
I did.
There is a shrieking cloud of white burning ravens in the hallway behind you.
Okay. I'm gonna disengage and come. And move like there. I can't. Okay, that's just one width hallway. Yeah. My bonus action disengage and move out into that hallway.
All right. Anything
That's
else?
a choice.
Oh, you already attacked. That's right.
Yeah.
So, just our sort of chain of events here. Oryx sees the weird figure, backs out. You all come in to investigate. Cyrus steps into the room. The figure, jump scare, flickers forward. Now the door is smashed open, and the room floods with white light and shrieking, burning ravens. And the swarms disperse around Lexi and Auric. And they are going to use Counting Crows. Lexi and Auric both need to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh,
Right.
good. I have a +0. And I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 10.
Both of you are overcome with a horrifying, overwhelming hatred. There is something that you would give anything to destroy. And this feeling is too big. It's too much. Both of you give me a religion check.
Oh,
Oh no.
it was almost a 19.
All right.
It was a 3.
This horrible, profound rage floods through you all. Each of you takes 19 points of psychic damage, and you are stunned until the end of this creature's next turn.
I didn't have any chance to Hulk up.
I don't know if I can reliably reach you all to make you stunned, but all right. At the end of the second swarm's turn, the shrouded figure takes one of these ill-omened blades and throws it at Cyrus. Oh, nope. I guess that works. 21 to hit.
Yep.
5 points of slashing. And 20 points of necrotic.
Okay. I'm gonna uncanny dodge.
You also notice that as this blade shears across, it leaves this like dark smoking wound. And then it teleports. And that is all of its legendary actions in one go.
Okay.
Let's see if Lexi gets to save. Nope. All right. Lexi is stunned. Auric is stunned. Cyrus, you're up.
I disapprove.
So wait, is it? It's controlling the crows. The crows are independent of it.
I'll let you make that same cocktail of choice: Arcana or Animal Handling. With a 10 Arcana, I think you have enough familiarity to at least tell this. The thing in front of you feels like a fragment of Mort's power. It feels like a bigger piece. It also doesn't feel corrupted the same way the others do. But it does have a almost like feral quality to it. You know Mort to be very sort of controlled and constrained, and this doesn't have that. This thing is like, now that it's in motion, it is leaking hostility. And I'll just throw this in as a freebie. You get the impression the ravens were chasing the light.
The torchlight.
Yes.
Oh,
They don't seem to be actively cooperating. Whatever is wrong
Okay.
with the ravens, it isn't controlling them.
okay. I don't have anywhere to go.
Can always run off alone into the dark. Are you able to see where the doors are, by the way?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like four in this hall, 4 or 5 in this hallway.
Yeah. And you do guess that probably the door farthest to the west does lead back out to the hallway you were coming down, or going up
Okay.
to the north.
So wait, could I tell who stunned? So the figure stunned Lexi and Oric, or the Ravens
The
stunned them?
ravens did. The ravens swarmed into their space. There was flickering of white light, and they you can actually see their eyes are like filled with white light,
Okay.
Oh, fun.
which is not that weird for Lexi, but is very strange for Oric.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, anything good here? Can I try to turn the torch off, or can only Oric do that if he's the one holding it?
I think that if you got up next to him, you could turn it off. I will
Okay.
say this though, it it seems like they followed the light. It doesn't seem like the light is what antagonized them.
Oh, okay.
I'll throw out something else helpful too. The stun is a recharge ability. They're not gonna chain stun you all forever.
Okay.
That's nice to hear.
Was it stunned until the start of their next turn or the end of their next turn?
Actually, it was the end of your turn, so technically
end
you're
of my
not
turn.
stunned anymore.
Oh, good.
Oh, also, I forgot to do this. Cyrus, you take 7 points of necrotic damage at the top of your turn as the wound festers.
Cool. Um, can't run that way. I can't run that way. All right. I guess only thing I can think of to do, I'm going to take a swing at it. I'm gonna roll a 4 again and miss. I'm going to disengage, and I'm gonna run back through here.
All right.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of. Are there more coming in down this hallway, or have they stopped?
Those are the only ones you can see.
Okay.
And they do seem to cast some light. So as long as you have sort of line of sight, you have a pretty good idea of where they are.
Okay.
And I think this will be a nice cliffhanger to leave us on. This horrible figure, Cyrus slashes at it again, and again with an almost identical motion, it pulls up a blade of ill omen and knocks the strike away. Using his roguish skills, Cyrus darts between the two swarms of birds back into the other hallway. And as you move, the figure doesn't move. And then it slowly turns and is facing in that direction. We sort of pull back with the bright, individual burning eyes of these swarms of white ravens. And they fill all of our space. Then they fade to black. And all we can hear is Cyrus's ragged breathing and the calling of birds. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
All right.
A killer recording.
Recording stopped.
And in the stream. Bye, Internet.